The legend returns once more. In a time dominated by futuristic designs and tech-heavy motorcycles, the 2026 Yamaha State Route 400 emerges as a nostalgic masterpiece, refusing to let go of its roots. With a design language that traces back to the 1970s, this bike is not just a machine, it's a tribute to pure motorcycling. For decades, the State Route 400 has stood as a symbol of simplicity and authenticity. Yamaha understands that while the world moves fast, some riders still yearn for the unfiltered experience of a classic single-cylinder thumper. That's why, in 2026, the State Route 400 isn't about keeping up with the race. It's about slowing down and enjoying the journey, one gear at a time. The 2026 model retains much of what made the State Route 400 iconic. Its unmistakable silhouette, retro-styled teardrop fuel tank, slim profile, and round headlight all return with subtle refinements. But make no mistake, this isn't just a carbon copy of the past. Yamaha has infused it with just enough modern engineering to meet today's performance and emission standards without compromising the soul of the original. One of the biggest nods to tradition is the kickstart system, still intact and delightfully mechanical. For many, it's a rite of passage, an old-school handshake between rider and machine. Starting the State Route 400 is less about convenience and more about connection. It's tactile, personal, and immensely satisfying. Under the hood, or rather, under the tank, lies a 399cc air-cooled, SOHC, 2-valve, single-cylinder engine. It's not built to tear up the track, but it delivers torque in a way that's perfectly tuned for city riding and winding back roads. The thump of the engine isn't just heard, it's felt. That pulse, that mechanical heartbeat, is what makes the State Route 400 feel alive. The engine has been tweaked to comply with the latest global emission norms, thanks to a refined fuel injection system and internal modifications that ensure cleaner burning and improved efficiency. The result? A motorcycle that still feels vintage but runs with the reliability of today. The chassis remains the same double cradle steel frame, providing that raw, grounded feel. It's lightweight, agile, and honest. Paired with 18-inch spoked wheels and narrow tires, the State Route 400 gives you confidence whether you're carving through traffic or cruising on a lazy Sunday morning. The suspension setup continues to feature telescopic front forks and twin rear shocks, tuned to provide just enough comfort without removing the road's texture. You feel connected, not isolated, from the world around you, and that's the whole point. Braking has seen a small but important upgrade. The front disc with a 2-piston caliper is now paired with a rear disc instead of the previous drum, offering better stopping power without overcomplicating the ride. There's no ABS, no riding modes, no traction control. The State Route 400 remains beautifully analog. What you give is what you get. It's a bike that demands your attention, your skill, and your respect. And in return, it offers an intimate, rewarding ride that few modern motorcycles can replicate. The instrumentation is as classic as it gets. A pair of round analog dials with a speedometer, tachometer, and a few basic indicator lights. No TFT screens, no Bluetooth connectivity, and absolutely no distractions. Yamaha wants you to look up, not down. They want your eyes on the road and your senses tuned into the world around you. That's the philosophy behind this motorcycle. It's not a gadget, it's a companion. Color options for 2026 include a deep metallic black with gold pinstriping, a matte silver with retro Yamaha tank logos, and a special anniversary edition featuring a deep cherry red with polished chrome accents. Each color option feels deliberate and steeped in tradition, aimed at different kinds of classic enthusiasts. The seat remains a single-piece design, slightly stepped for comfort, with premium stitching and a slightly more cushioned foam for longer rides. Riders who choose the State Route 400 aren't typically first-time motorcyclists. They're not necessarily chasing speed or spec sheets. Instead, they're looking for something that connects them with the heritage of motorcycling. They want to feel the bike's vibrations, they want to hear the engine speak, and they want to start their machine with a proper kick. For many, riding the State Route 400 is like stepping into a time machine, back to an era when motorcycles were raw, elemental, and designed for the sheer joy of riding. In 2026, Yamaha has also made an effort to keep the State Route 400 as accessible as ever. The seat height sits at a friendly 30.9 inches, making it approachable for riders of all sizes. The overall weight hovers just above 385 pounds wet, making it one of the lightest full-size motorcycles on the market. It's nimble, easy to maneuver, and refreshingly unpretentious. Maintenance is straightforward, and thanks to Yamaha's legendary reliability, the State Route 400 isn't a bike that will spend much time in the garage, unless it's just being admired. This year also marks a subtle shift in how Yamaha is positioning the SR400. While it still appeals to the old-school purists, there's a growing crowd of younger riders who are being drawn in by the bike's authenticity. In a world of tech-saturated two-wheelers, the State Route 400 stands out precisely because it doesn't try to impress with specs. Instead, it wins riders over with soul. It's also become a favorite among custom builders. From cafe racers to scramblers to bobbers, the State Route 400 serves as the perfect blank canvas for those looking to create something uniquely their own. And yet, even in its stock form, it feels complete. There's no need to change anything unless you want to. The exhaust note is throaty and satisfying. The ergonomics are relaxed and neutral, ideal for commuting or weekend escapes. The controls feel solid, predictable, and mechanical in the best way possible. Riding the State Route 400 isn't just about transportation. It's about ritual. It's about rhythm. It's about reclaiming a part of yourself that's often drowned out by modern life's constant noise. As electric bikes rise and tech continues to dominate the motorcycle industry, the 2026 Yamaha State Route 400 stands defiantly apart. It's a love letter to motorcycling's golden age, a machine that understands that sometimes, less really is more. For those who appreciate the charm of simplicity and the thrill of a hands-on ride, this motorcycle doesn't just make sense, it makes memories. It's not the fastest, the smartest, or the most advanced, but it might just be the most soulful bike you'll ride this year.